You ever open your front door and realize you're living in a completely different reality than you thought? That was me, 9 a.m. sharp, staring at two people dressed like police officers standing on my townhouse doorstep. One of them, I swear on my life, was the same woman who asked me out for coffee at the local Starbucks months ago. My name's Cole Harris. I'm not a fugitive. I don't run drugs and I don't have bodies buried in my backyard. All I do is lift weights in my garage. That's been my routine for 3 solid years. But apparently, in Copper Ridge Heights, minding your business and sweating a little too loud can trigger a neighborhood-level power trip. They called themselves the Enhanced Community Standards Authority. Brought clipboards, printed rules, and serious faces. I thought this was a peaceful townhouse community in North Scottsdale. Turns out it's amateur hour for wannabe dictators with delusions of law enforcement. Ever had a neighbor who thinks they're Judge Dredd? Drop where you're watching from, because I need to hear your stories too. See, I came to Copper Ridge for peace. 15 years with the FBI, including SWAT operations, will do that to you. I was ready for quiet mornings and uneventful evenings. The townhouse I picked, Unit 47, had everything I needed. 2 bedrooms, a garage I turned into a home gym, and a little patio where I could drink my coffee without anybody talking to me. For the first 6 months, it was perfect. Then came Jessica Martinez. I met her by the pool, oversized sunglasses, nervous energy, the kind of vibe that says she's been rehearsing this moment for days. She introduced herself, asked if I wanted to grab coffee. I let her down gently. Told her I was enjoying retirement and solitude. I thought that would be the end of it. But something in her face changed. Not hurt, not embarrassed. Cold. The kind of look you get from someone who just recalculated their strategy. After that, things got weird. I'd catch her watching me through her blinds. She started taking pictures of my patio, claiming she was documenting aesthetic violations. Then Mrs. Bennett, our 77-year-old former court clerk, told me Jessica had been asking questions about me, my schedule, visitors, employment history. That flicked a switch in my brain. I know this pattern, obsession that turns into action. Jessica didn't stop at surveillance. She started handing out flyers with phrases like, "Preserve community integrity," and "Protect property values." She wasn't part of the actual HOA, mind you. We had a legit one. Quiet, minimal, handled maintenance, and left people alone. But she wasn't satisfied with that. She wanted power, and she found Marcus Thompson. So when these two showed up, dressed like police officers, Jessica in her fake business casual power suit, and Marcus in a department store uniform knockoff, I knew it was a show. A very bad one. They introduced themselves like they were actual officials. Marcus handed me a citation pad that looked like it came from Staples. Claimed they were part of some HOA enforcement branch under Statute 47B, which doesn't even exist. I played along. I asked for ID. Marcus tried flashing a plastic card that looked like it came with a Halloween costume. Jessica started reading off made-up violations, excessive noise, improper weapons storage, landscaping violations. My garage workouts were now a security threat, apparently, but then she said something that changed everything. We've already handled Mrs. Rodriguez's situation. After she signed the compliance agreement, we suspended the asset forfeiture procedures. Mrs. Rodriguez, elderly, limited English, lived alone. That phrase wasn't just creepy. It was criminal. These two weren't just impersonating officials. They were extorting people. I realized Jessica had found her outlet. The person who'd once asked me out was now trying to run a full-blown psychological operation against our entire neighborhood. And they picked the wrong target. I asked again for ID. Marcus got defensive. Told me questioning law enforcement was a serious offense. That's when Mr. Patterson from Unit 39 jogged by. Asked if everything was okay. Recognized Jessica and Marcus. Mentioned Mrs. Rodriguez's rose garden fine. Then he pulled out his phone and started snapping pics of their van, a poorly painted Honda Odyssey with fake decals. Jessica panicked. Marcus turned red. They handed me a handwritten citation for noncompliance and warned me that further action would be taken if I didn't cooperate. Then they left. I went straight to my home office, logged into the same secure laptop I used for federal consulting. Called Ryan Nakamura, Scottsdale PD, an old colleague from my FBI days. Told him about Marcus. He didn't even hesitate. Marcus Thompson. Cole, that guy's on our radar. Multiple fraud cases, known for fake enforcement scams. That opened the floodgates. I ran a full check. Marcus had a criminal record going back 10 years. Impersonation, fraud, harassment, fired from 3 security firms, failed police academy psych evals. Jessica, no job for over a year. Evictions, past complaints for harassment, and, no surprise here, her listed address was the same as Marcus'. I tried calling Mr. Liu, our property manager. Disconnected. Mrs. Bennett said nobody had seen him in months. It was starting to feel like Jessica and Marcus had run him off, or worse, taken over entirely. They weren't just pushing fake rules, they were enforcing them with scare tactics and bogus penalties. By afternoon, I was knocking on Mrs. Bennett's door. She showed me her notebook, dates, times, behaviors. She'd been documenting everything. Jessica and Marcus had been going door to door, scaring people into compliance. Elderly residents were handing over hundreds, even thousands, to avoid made-up fines. This wasn't neighborhood drama anymore. It was a con. I started mapping it out. Found similar reports in Tempe, Chandler, and Gilbert. Fake HOA enforcers. Fake fire inspectors. All of it linked by the same MO. Dress up, look official, scare people into paying. Then came the name. Vincent Walsh. According to Nakamura, Walsh was the ringleader, a known scammer who specialized in fake authority schemes. If he was involved, this thing went way deeper than I thought. Next morning, 7:30 a.m., Mrs. Bennett called. Cole, they're back, and they brought someone new. I looked out my window. There he was, Vincent Walsh, expensive suit, polished shoes, posture of someone who thinks he owns the room before he steps into it. I got my surveillance equipment rolling. Cameras, audio, everything legal. Texted Nakamura that the situation was escalating. Then I dressed like just another retiree and waited. At 9 a.m. sharp, they knocked. Walsh took the lead. Mr. Harris, I'm Vincent Walsh with Arizona Community Standards Consulting. I understand there's been some friction. He said they had full authority to inspect, fine, and even coordinate with local law enforcement. Produced official-looking documents with vague language and seals from agencies that didn't exist. I asked for the exact statute. He dodged, told me every question I asked would add another fine. I told them I'd be calling the Attorney General, that I wanted to verify their authority. They didn't like that. Walsh's smile twitched. Marcus fidgeted. Jessica looked like she wanted to disappear. Walsh snapped his folder shut and gave the final push. They'd be conducting a mandatory inspection that afternoon. I nodded. Looking forward to it? I wasn't. I was preparing. That afternoon, they came back in full costume. Marcus had upgraded his fake badge. Jessica had a bigger clipboard. Walsh acted like he was leading a SWAT raid. They walked through my home, documenting everything. My weights, my gun safe, even my toaster. Then Walsh hit me with a list of violations totaling over $3,000. And then he made his final mistake. We're going to need to secure your firearms as evidence. Now that's a federal line you do not cross. I said I needed to call my attorney. Marcus reached for my phone. Sir, interfering with an investigation is a serious crime. He touched me. That's assault. On a federal agent. Game over. You're under arrest, Walsh declared. Marcus pulled out real handcuffs. Cuffed me. Jessica took pictures. Walsh recited made-up legal nonsense. I let it all happen, because outside, backup was waiting. Real backup. Scottsdale PD pulled up fast and hard, knocked, entered. Santos, the lead sergeant. took one look and barked out the real law. Marcus tried pulling authority, showed his plastic badge, claimed jurisdiction. Santos laughed. You're under arrest. Impersonating an officer, fraud, assault, unlawful imprisonment. Within minutes, the house was crawling with law enforcement, FBI, state investigators. They found fake uniforms, hundreds of citations, victim files, even financial records showing they'd taken hundreds of thousands. Walsh folded fast, tried distancing himself, claimed he didn't know, but it was too late. Over the next few weeks, we unraveled everything. 6 states, 30 accomplices, fake building inspectors, phony fire marshals, counterfeit health officials. The total haul, over $2 million. And the most chilling part? They had files on potential victims, social security numbers, bank info, family data. They weren't just faking authority, they were stealing identities. Jessica got probation and community service. Marcus got 8 years. Walsh? 18 years federal, plus restitution, $2.1 million clawed back. And Copper Ridge Heights? We got our peace back, a real HOA, a watchful community. And Mrs. Bennett? Now the community safety lead. She runs drills. Me? I took the DOJ up on their offer, helped them build training programs, outreach efforts, fraud prevention seminars, turned my retirement into a second act. Because here's what I learned. You can't rest when people like Walsh put on fake badges and knock on doors like they're gods. They threatened peace with theater. I answered with law. Appreciate you sticking around. If you've ever had a neighbor pull power moves, drop your story below. And if you're into justice served cold, hit that bell. It's only getting crazier from here.